The Hollywood strikes are finally over and things might start to change. Things might actually get better for Hollywood in the upcoming weeks. So let us start by reviewing the box office of this weekend. At number 1, I think this comes as no surprise to anybody, it was Paw Patrol. It's the sequel to a 2021 Paw Patrol movie. This film had a small budget of 26 million and already made $23 million in the opening weekend. And that's for domestic. In the overseas, it made another $23 million, adding up to about a 46 million. That's a very good number. This is a film based on a popular IP, based on a very popular show that has about like 10 seasons, and probably almost all the young children would know about this show, would know about this film. So parents would have brought their children to go watch this film. Let us talk about a really smart marketing strategy going on here. This is the month of October, which means we can expect a lot more horror films coming out. And there are already a lot of horror films coming out. And horror is definitely not meant for children. Children are the least targeted audience when it comes to horror. We have a huge group of target audience that are not being catered to in the theaters, in cinemas now because of the lack of family-friendly films. And then Paw Patrol comes in, which leaves to be the only choice for family-friendly films. So if you want to bring your children to go watch a film, you have very few choices and you will narrow down to this movie, Paw Patrol. So this is a really smart marketing strategy on their side. So a huge success for this film. And if you are not aware, a while back there was a film called Strays, which is a film about talking dogs, voiced by Jamie Foxx and Will Ferrell. And that film flopped. And that's mainly because they didn't target the film very well. The target audience for those kind of films are usually children, but they made it rated R, and we know the result of that movie. But this film, okay, I get that it's based off of something else, but at the same time, they targeted it properly to the proper target audience. They were business smart here. And number 2, we have Saw X, the 10th installment of this horror franchise. I had no idea it would still be going on, but it still is. The Saw franchise has been dwindling over the years, but they finally made a good Saw film after so long. The budget of this film was only $13 million, and globally it has already made $29.3 million. It has already made more than 2 times its budget in the opening weekend globally. And it just needs to make a bit more to profit. So this film is nonetheless going to profit, I have no doubt about that. Number 3, The Creator, an original big budget blockbuster sci-fi film directed by Gareth Edwards, who previously did Rogue One, Godzilla, the 2014 film, and also did many VFX works before getting into directing. The budget of this film was a mere $80 million. I mean, $80 million is a big number, but if you watch the film, the visual spectacle of the film did not look like $80 million. It looked like $200 million. It puts all the $200 million, $100 million budget movies to shame, because this film looks visually stunning, like more visually stunning than some of the $200 million films that I've seen. It came in at $14 million. That's not a good thing. Overseas, it's at $18 million. Did a bit better, but still not very good for its budget. It needs to make a lot more to earn more money. And I'm going to compare with Dune. I know some people are going to be like, Dune is very irrelevant here, but hear me out. Dune is another science fiction big budget film that of course is based off of something else, unlike this film which is original. But still, this film, the creator has a lot of influences from previous other films like Star Wars or Akira and so forth. Dune is based off of Frank Herbert's book, and that film didn't open so well. It opened at over $40 million domestically, but still it managed to make a profit because of the small drops it had over the weekends. I hope this film will have small drops over the weekends. I really do, but it doesn't seem probable to me because there's a lot of competition this entire month. Like, you have so many horror films and there's a lot of competition. At number 4, we have The Nun Part 2. Despite the first film not being so good, this sequel has been proven to be really good through the box office. Of course, it's an improvement from the first film, but at the same time, it is doing really well at the box office. Not as good as the first Nun film, but it has done better than some of the recent films in the Conjuring franchise. So it has another 45% drop. That's a really good drop for a horror film. Horror films usually have a large drop as the weekends go by, but this film seems to be having a really good drop. At number 5, The Blind. And at number 6, we have A Haunting in Venice. Made another $3.8 million, a 40% drop. Not a good sign. Overall, it has close to $90 million in the global box office. Again, not a good sign. It has made about 1.5 times its budget of $60 million. It needs to make at least $150 million to break even. I don't know what's going to happen to the fate of the Hercule Poirot films, but this film needs to make at least $150 million, and it's not gonna make that. This film, let's hope that when it comes to streaming, it does really well there. Number 7, Dumb Money, $3.5 million for a $30 million budget. Let's see, because the marketing for this film has been really strange. The opening weekend, it earned like $220,000 because it was only opened in like 8 theaters. The next weekend, it had a huge increase. It earned over $1 million because the number of theaters it was released in increased as well. And now once again, the number of theaters it's released in has increased as well. I'm not sure what the marketing strategy here is, but let's see how it goes. So far, it does not seem like it's doing good. It has made slightly over $7 million and has a budget of $30 million. Not doing good. And they're slowly starting to open up in the overseas markets as well. At number 8, The Equalizer Part 3, the third film of this trilogy. It's not doing really well compared to the first 2 films, and it's doing kind of meh at this point. I mean, it earned $158 million for a budget of $100 million. I personally don't think that's a good sign because it earned another $2.7 million and it's probably going to drop, and as long as it keeps dropping, I don't see it making at least $250 million to break even. Number 9, The Expendables 4, one of the worser films of this year. A lot of people had high expectations for this film, knowing that this is the 4th installment of this franchise and there have been a lot of fans for this franchise, but this film didn't really hit the mark for a lot of the fans, and it's a bomb. It's a bomb in the box office, and the overseas markets can't help it either. And at number 10, Barbie. Both Barbie and Oppenheimer has finally started getting some big drops at the box office. They have been doing some really small drops at box office, but they finally get a big drop. And here's the thing, it held on for so long with those small drops. That's amazing, by the way. That's incredible. Barbenheimer is real. Next big step for Barbenheimer is the award season. Let's see how it stacks up the awards there. It was a great weekend for movies. There have been some failures, but then again, there have been some really big successes as well. And that's all for this video. If you like this video, click the like button if you want to subscribe to my channel, and see you guys next time. You guys are always the best.